All right, let's do a better explanatory video. The one I just put up, I thought was going to be YouTube short. It came out as 1 minute on my phone, but YouTube thought it was 1 minute and 1 second, so it didn't work out. But anyway, here's all the parades that I could figure out. This is probably not the scope of all the parades. There's probably a little bit more, but this is just what I can find out right now. Here's my map that I had in the other video. There's 29 little dots right here. This is all within driving distance. Even if you take out the ones by Milwaukee, it's still 27 of them. That's a little bit more of a drive. Now, just a little bit of a fact here is that Waukesha, I think it's this one on the left here. I was actually going to do that last year. It was on my mind. If I didn't have to work, I would have at least planned it out to going there. And if you guys don't know, Waukesha is the parade that's been in the news for unfortunate reasons. Crazy guy drove into a crowd of people, killing 6 and injuring 62, I think was the official numbers. But I wanted to go there this year, but unfortunately I have to work that day when they have that parade. And a lot of these parades I won't be able to go to. I mean, I might only do a very small select few of them. Got one going on tonight, hopefully, Lord willing. But anyway, so yeah, I try to write everything down here on the calendar. It's a little bit messy. You can see here at first it was 22 parades, and I got up to 29 parades, and there's probably more. But guys, doing parades, wow, you can get the gospel out to thousands, tens and tens of thousands of people if we had a willing church to just cover, a small section of whatever state that you're in. You could reach saturate entire communities. I like using that word, saturate entire communities with the gospel message. Very simply, very much a fun thing to do. Bring your family. I don't see any downside to it. The written word, a gospel tract, is still a good thing to do. I know some people have issues with gospel tracts. I don't know why personally, but they just do. But anyway, I'm working on some gospel tracts right here. What I have been doing was writing different scripture verses on the backs of a lot of these, or actually all of them, just in different locations on each of them, just as a little fun extra thing. Just something I wanted to do. So did it a number of years ago. I wanted to do it again. I got some other gospel tracts over there and elsewhere to use as well. But guys, please consider doing a parade. It's really easy. Check out my last video that was supposed to be under a minute. But with that, all you gotta do is pull up your phone, pull up the Maps app, and just search those tiny little towns around you that you probably never heard of before. And you would be surprised that, hey, this is doing a parade, that's doing a parade. Find out which ones you and your church can do. I mean, for like my area, this entire northeastern Wisconsin area, I don't really know of anybody else who's going out and doing these parades to get the gospel out. Last year we found some people in Kaukauna church. I was actually in the parade handing out gospel tracts, but other than those people, I just know of myself and a few other guys who are going to go with me, that we're going to go together, like for instance tonight or this Wednesday, which is tomorrow, and doing a parade in Manitowoc hopefully. But yeah, other than that, it's an untapped way of doing evangelism. And it's a huge encouragement. If you've never done evangelism before, guys, listen to my testimony if you haven't heard it. But back in 2013, that was one of the first things I have done to really get me going as far as one-on-one evangelism, because it broke through that nervousness, that shyness, that anxiety, that paralyzing fear that a lot of us have when it comes to talking with other people, especially sharing the gospel. But guys, you do something like this and it will break you in. You have no idea. Tracts are like what, $5-6 for a pack of 100. I said, guys, I'll buy you one pack if you're willing to try 5 minutes doing a parade. Last year I did a Christmas parade. In 5 minutes I got 100 gospel tracts. This year, because that was such a broken up parade, very small, this year I did 200, or just like 7 or 6 gospel tracts shy of 200 in 5 minutes. That's what you can do. You have a full hour to do a parade, especially like one like the Appleton parade, which is hopefully what we're going to do tonight. It's actually for right here, Tuesday. I have the arrow there. But we did that parade once, and my friend who's never handed out tracts in a parade before, that one year that we did it, he got out like almost 1,500 or so, give or take a couple hundred. Just him, by himself. That's incredible. That's probably more than I have ever done in one parade. But there was a lot of us too that day. So you can imagine how many thousands of tracts that we've given out. I remember doing the electric parade in Brillion one year. Me and like 2 or 3 other people, we got out like 3,000 gospel tracts or something like that. It's incredible, guys. Please consider doing a parade. Please look at whatever section you live in the States or elsewhere. But again, guys, this is all within driving distance, all under 2 hours. Again, we live right along the lakeshore here in Two Rivers. That's that little dot right there. And yeah, and again, there's probably even more. I'm finding all these other ones. I can only do so many of them. Unfortunately, I might only do like 3 or 4 of them this year out of the 29 that I have found. But that's just the nature of my job, working a lot of hours, so it's really hard to be able to do it. But man, if we had more willing people, more willing participants. Guys, it's the ministry of walking. You walk, if you know how to, do the walking motion. I kind of meant to be a funny video one year, but this is how you walk. You put one foot in front of the other, just like that. Got your track, and practice extending your hand, just like that. And hey, Merry Christmas, have a smile on your face. It's the easiest thing in the world. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you know how to walk, if you know how to do this motion with your arm and release the gospel tract when they take it, it works. And then the worst that's ever happened is that someone said, no, thank you. Somebody said, no, thanks. Oh, no. 1 out of like every 100 or so. It's kind of funny. I mentioned this before, that like when one person says no, like, Merry Christmas, you don't have to say anything. You can just hand tracts out and people grab it because they expect free things at parades. But you hand something out, they say, oh, no thanks. And then there's this chain of people, monkey see, monkey do, right? So the next person will be like, no, 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 no. And you got to break that chain. So you might just skip one person. And then they start taking them again. So sometimes that'll happen. That's it. Nothing else. I've done probably 50, maybe even 60 parades now. I keep saying 50. I've done about 50 parades, I keep saying. And it's got to be more than that now. I never really kept track, but never had an issue. I mean, there's been like maybe 1 or 2 times, especially the Appleton parade, for some reason. Someone would say, oh, you're not supposed to be hitting stuff, if you're not in the parade or whatever. And that was literally it. So we just want to go on the sidewalk for a few seconds and then go back onto the street later, or stay on the sidewalk. If you just want to do the sidewalk because you're nervous about it, you can do it before a parade. You can do it as people are leaving, although I wouldn't really advise that. But even before a parade, people still take them. That's what we're going to do tonight, because of those 2 times out of the 60 parades I've done. Somebody, not even someone in the parade necessarily, probably. It wasn't me that they said it to, it was somebody else. They said something. So we're going to go before the parade starts. Hopefully I'll get some video footage of that. Yeah, I think there was only like 1 other parade that a friend of mine did somewhere else once in Little Chute, I want to say, where somebody said something. I think that's it. Like, okay, so 3 times out of like 60 plus parades where all they did was say something, and that's it. But I never had issue otherwise. And yeah, if I never did, you probably won't either. Again, you can go before a parade, you just stay on the sidewalk. Ideally, you want 4 people, 2 on this side, 2 on the other side, 1 working the sidewalk, 1 working the street. Same as the other side. More the merrier, because sometimes on the sidewalk side, you have a lot of people. There's like rows, you got the row on the street, you got a row on the sidewalk, you got a row and then another row, and people sitting on lawn chairs back here. So it can be pretty crowded. So the more the merrier. But yeah, if you have 4, that's pretty awesome. So please, guys, consider doing a parade. If there's anything else I can help you out with, any questions I can answer, any gospel tracts I can buy for you for free, email paradethegospel@gmail.com. Again, if you've never done the parade before, I want to encourage you, because it's like a snowball effect. You got a tiny little snowball, you roll it down the hill, it gets bigger and bigger. That's what it does to your evangelism potential. You do 1 parade, and now you're like, oh, I can do more now. It doesn't matter how shy you are. Guys, I'm more shyer than you. If you have the contest of who's the shyest, who's the most social anxiety person, I will win every single time, guarantee it. But if I can do this, you can too. Or find some way to get the gospel out. I like parades because it is the fastest way, literally, that I know of to get the gospel out to the masses. Again, it's a written form, which is totally fine. Do other things too, obviously, but this is a great way to get the gospel out. You can give out Gospel of John's. I've got a bunch of Gospel of John's somewhere, not with me right now, but you could do that. We've given out these things called life books by the Gideons before. It's a Gospel of John and some other stuff in there as well. We gift wrapped a bunch of them, had these big duffel bags, and had at it. The Manitowoc Parade and I think a couple other ones, Sheboygan, we gave those out, gave them to teens, and other tracts in the meantime. Get yourself a disc golf bag, such as the one I have here. This is my original one that's falling apart. I had another one, but somebody, I don't know if they took it on me or what happened with it. I can't find it. But yeah, I got some Gospel of John's in there. That's going to be meant for some other delivery type thing I want to do at another time. But yeah, just whatever you guys have. Come on, let's do it, guys. Anything else? I can't think of anything. People are dying. People are perishing. They need the gospel. I want to go back to the Waukesha parade, last year. Oh man, I wish I was there. Only because, I think the gospel speaks loudly during a time of a traumatic event. Some huge thing happens that's terrible. And, people, if the gospel is being given out there, maybe it was that day. Who knows? I don't know. There could have been another church out there, other people out there. Knowing that, hey, I did not get hit by this car. I did not die from this crazy person. And I got a gospel tract today, the message of eternal life. Maybe there's a reason why God preserved me. That it just gets people to think a little bit. So that's another reason why I kind of wanted to go this year. Maybe people will be thinking about that. Obviously, they'll be thinking about what happened last year, because it's such a big thing that happened. But yeah, God is sovereign. Maybe somebody will be there. But let's not hinder in getting the gospel out. Whatever your, what I don't want to say your way. I hate when people say, "Oh, Kurt, that's your way of getting the gospel," because I don't have a way. I do a lot of ways. There's not one, distinct way that I only do. Yes, this channel is called Parade the Gospel, so I like to talk more about parades and other things because that's the name of it. I want to encourage people, because once you get one person who's really shy, never shared the gospel before, you go out and do a parade, it will change your life, and you will have a lifelong adventure in evangelism in other ways. I still do parades. I do everything. There's probably some things I haven't done, but most ways of evangelism, I've at least had my hand in. Whether it's jail ministry, talking one-to-one, open air preaching, this, that, or the other. I've probably in some way had some part to do in it, but that doesn't mean you still can't go back to something that, is considered simple, if you want to say it like that. It is really simple. It's the easiest thing in the world. And gospel tracts at the parade or at some big event as people are walking by. But guys, I don't know if you guys believe me. I can tell that not all of you guys do, but trust me, that's why I have all those videos. I haven't really taken too much video lately of me handing out gospel tracts at parades or anybody else. Because I just have so many on my channel already. I'll try to get some tomorrow or tonight, and I'll post it. It's kind of hard to film while walking and doing this, but I'll try my best, or I'll film my friends doing it, and then you can watch. It's really that easy. It really, really is. Again, take it from me, more shyer than any other person that you've probably ever bumped into, and if I can do it, so can you. And, yeah. So I'll talk more about that, hopefully after this parade. So God bless you guys. And again, Parade the Gospel at gmail.com if you want some free gospel tracts. Just one pack of gospel tracts. I'll order it to you. And hopefully you still have time to do a parade, because they start thinning out, at least in my area of Wisconsin, after December 3rd. That's when all these parades are going on. I forgot how many are there, 7, 8, 9 of them. But after that, they really start to thin out because it gets cold in this part of the United States this time of the year. But yeah, all right, I blabbered on long enough. Let me know what you guys think down below.